and welcome to today's video. Today's video, I'm going to be discussing and speculating on the alternative timelines that were created in the event of Endgame and what are the consequences of what has happened in Endgame to these particular timelines. What the two timelines that I'm going to be referring to are in Endgame, where you see two big particular events happen in those timelines that changes the course of history for those two timelines. And I'm going to get into this video and I'm going to talk about particular films, that what would happen in these films moving forward and what would happen in this universe. So let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts? Let them just drop them below. Give us a like, subscribe, and let's just get into this video. Okay, so the two timelines I am looking at are gonna be 2012, when Loki grabbed the Tesseract and disappeared, and 2014, where Thanos and his crew all left that time period to come to the present. So they are the two particular time periods that I'm going to be looking at, and from the events that have happened, certain things happening in those timelines will be dramatically change that particular MCU. So those timelines will not turn out how we see the main timeline of the MCU. So we're going to start off with 2012. Now, we all know Loki grabs the Tesseract and vanishes and disappears out of that timeline. He's gone. Loki is gone. No one knows what happens. This is going to set in some big events moving forward throughout the MCU in this particular time period. First off, I want to discuss, what does Thor do? Does Thor go and chase Loki and try and get Loki back, knowing that he has the Tesseract now and he is just jumping from different universes? Is Thor gonna go out there and chase him and leave the Avengers, leave them all behind to go and pursue his brother to try and bring him back? That is a possibility. I think that is in Thor's character to try and find him, especially with him having the Tesseract, knowing that he's alive. I think Thor would do that. Now, also, this changes the events of Dark World. This changes everything, because Loki's not there. So if the Dark Elves do start to attack, there is no Loki there. So it's just Thor and Odin by themselves facing the Dark Elves. Now, that whole situation is going to change. That's going to completely change. But I would still have faith in the fact that I think Thor and Odin would still be able to defeat the Dark Elves, even without Loki's help. So I'm going to say that that would change a little bit, but the outcome would still be the same. And I think the only difference would be the ending. We wouldn't see Thor, Odin leaving and Loki being Odin. That wouldn't occur anymore. Then we move into Ragnarok. I think this is where the big major change happens. Ragnarok happens. It's going to be completely different. No Loki there to help Thor. Can Thor then help and get over the line against Hela? That's the big question. That would be the big question. Is he able to kill Hela? That's going to be the big issue. And if, we're just going to say for the sake of argument, if he does get past Hela and Asgard and stuff like that, it's a big if, because I don't know if he can by himself, because Loki was a big part of that film. So a lot of things happen in this particular time period with Thor and what happens with his story. His story is the big major change in 2012. Now, everything else on Earth would stay the same except for Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron would change a little bit because Thor's not going to be there. Thor is out chasing Loki and dealing with other things, so he's not going to be there. So does the Vision still get created? Don't know. I don't know. I don't know how big of a part Thor really played in creating Vision when he went up there and hit it with lightning. Did he hit it with the necessary charge that it needed to be able to create that? I don't know. So without Thor being there, does Ultron win? Let's just say for the sake of argument, they still end up beating Ultron. Things all still happen the same as it would normally. You still get Spider-Man Homecoming, you get the Civil War, Black Panther, you get all that. That all happens. That all happens. Then we get to Infinity War. This is where another big dramatic change happens. Thanos wouldn't go after the Asgardians because they don't have the stone. So why would he go after Thor and stuff like that? So there's another thing. Thor and Hulk and all that are safe, what's going to happen? Thanos is going to go after them because they don't have the space stone, and he knows that. He can't chase Loki around the whole universe trying to get this stone off him, because Loki can just teleport in and out constantly. So this changes a lot of things, because Thanos can't teleport in and out either. So does he go to Earth by himself with his army and fight the Avengers there? Now, say for instance, somehow Thor and Hulk and all that get to Earth and they meet Thanos. Can they beat Thanos when Thanos only has, say, 4 Infinity Stones instead of having the 5? Well, he wouldn't actually have the one with Vision. So, theoretically, actually, Doctor Strange and all that, everyone would be there. So I think they would have quite a good chance of beating Thanos right here and right there on Earth with everyone there. I think they would actually be able to beat Thanos. So yeah, there you go. So we wouldn't have Endgame either. I don't think you would have the snap or that. So without the snap, in this particular time period, Far From Home doesn't exist. That doesn't happen. So there's a lot that goes into it now. And I think Thanos would be defeated and we'd have a different outlook. And the whole Thor character would change dramatically with his quest to find Loki and this. And who knows what Loki gets up. I guess we're going to find out in the Loki series. So this could change a lot of things that I just said by seeing what Loki does in that series. So once we know more, we'll be able to dive into it again. Now let's talk about 2014. This one to me has the biggest dramatic effect, bigger than 2012, because Thanos, Gamora, and everyone leave this time period to go to the present, to our main timeline. Now with this occurring, we start off with Guardians Volumes 1 and 2 do not happen. I don't think they do. You don't see the Guardians get together, or it could be completely different Guardians, but I don't think they would get together. There's no reason for them to get together. This changes everything. So Ronan then gets the Power Stone, decimates Xandar. What's his next goal? Is Ronan the big bad villain then? Does Ronan become the Thanos-like character? Does he want to come to Earth? Does he want to do all that stuff and destroy Earth and just take over? That's the next thing. What happens with Thanos gone? Is Ronan it? Or does Ronan go after Captain Marvel with the Power Stone because of what happened in the first Captain Marvel movie? Does he go after her and go, you know what, I got some business to take care of. I got the Power Stone, I can beat her now. And he goes after her. Interesting, very interesting. Or does another villain, now that Thanos is out of the way, pop up? Yeah, very interesting. Now, we go into Age of Ultron, Civil War, Black Panther, Homecoming, Doctor Strange, Ragnarok, Ant-Man, and the Wasp would all happen the same, except for obviously the post-credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp. But everything else would happen. It would all happen again. Now, without Thanos coming down to Earth and stuff like that, the Avengers, after Civil War, when we come to Infinity War, would not be together. Would they ever be together? That's the question. Would they ever be together again? We don't know. You can scrap Endgame. Endgame doesn't happen. Far From Home doesn't happen. They change dramatically. But Infinity War wouldn't happen either. The only way an Infinity War-like story could happen, and when it brings them back together, is if Ronan took that place and came down, or another villain took it. But imagine the MCU where the Avengers never came back together. That's what we're looking at. Right here, right now, we are looking at an Avengers that haven't come back together. We are looking at a Doctor Strange that hasn't met everyone else. We are talking Guardians who haven't met everyone else. Like, there's just, the Guardians aren't existing. There's just so many things. What happens to Peter Quill? Does his father finally get him? And does his father kill him? Like, these are the questions that are now there, present, because of Thanos leaving changes everything. Like, you wouldn't think just him leaving would change so much, but it does. It changes a lot. And yeah, so that's my theories on what happened in those two particular timelines. Let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on those two timelines? What do you think would happen in those timelines when these situations happen? Give us your biggest and best headcanon and interpretation of what you think would happen. Will the Avengers in 2014 get back together, or would they not? Would they just stay apart? Very interesting topic and so much to talk about. So let me know in the comments below. Give us a like, subscribe, and see you guys in the next video. Peace out.